Welcome back to the Get Up Girl Live podcast. My name is Joanna Vargas. I'm your host and your gal. And I am trying to fix this thing back here and it just fell. One of my awards. So fun. I was laughing because this little thing here looks like one of my hairs. But I'm going to jump right in. Thank you so much for either watching or listening. If you're listening and you want to watch this, you could just hop over to Facebook or YouTube. Just search for Joanna Vargas and the video will be there. Today's episode is all about how to get out of the spinning. You know, when your mind spins and you're in judgment, and it's when you have judgment about something and it just keeps spinning and spinning and your stomach is churning and you just can't get out of it. So there's two things I want to talk about the judgment, but before we go on to that, I do want to talk about what I am referring to. And past couple of weeks, I produced a big 5K run called the Pumpkin Run. It was our 9th annual. And this is what happened. Up until the event, 3 months up until the event, especially the last month, the last 2 weeks, right before the event, I was asking a lot of questions. I was really getting curious. I was becoming more open. I was really working on me, working on expanding, working on being more and more potent with my business, with my choices, with what I'm able to create. And one of the questions I was asking was, what are the miracles here that I can't see? What else is possible that I can't see for this business? How does this business get any better? Who would like to come and play in the business? Who wants to come and run at this 5K? I was getting so curious and asking questions just like that. The same kind of energetic questions, yet they were different sentences, but kind of the same energy. And this is what I do want to talk about. Many times we will judge what is good. And when we make something good, that takes judgment. And then we will also judge when something is bad. In order to call something bad or not good, that also requires judgment. So when we judge something, we tend to, in this reality, think that judgment means only the negative, the not so fun things. So if I were to say, hey, you know what? That dress does not look very good on you. You'll say, gosh, she is so judgmental. But if I came up to you and I said, oh my gosh, you are so gorgeous, that is also a judgment. A judgment is just a point of view. A judgment is just something that I am thinking about you. That's all judgment is. But we give judgment so much validity, so much strength that it will knock us down. It'll pull us down. It'll actually make us make different choices if we're fearful or we do not want to receive judgment from other people. We can also make different choices because we don't want to receive the quote unquote bad judgment. However, sometimes even great judgment of compliments and things like that can also be challenging for some people to receive. It's all just judgment. It's all the same. So when I was going into this event, this big 5K run, I was asking questions, and what I didn't realize until afterwards is that I was judging the outcome of the answer. I was hoping for a good answer. I was hoping for the event to look great on paper and everything was wonderful. And the question that I asked that I know I received was, what else is possible here that I could never imagine? How can this create more for my life than I can never imagine? And at the event, something happened that I found out, that nobody would know from the outside, but I knew, and it was not okay with me. And after the event, I went in a tailspin. I started to cry. I was angry. I was embarrassed. I went home. I cried the whole night. After this great event, I went home and I cried myself to sleep, cried the next day. And I probably cried because I was so freaking exhausted after 3 months and I just needed to release. It was like a tea kettle that needed to, shoot out and just explode because all of the pressure. So that's probably also why I cried. Okay. But tears are just energy built up coming out of your body. So there was a lot of built up energy of anger, of shame, of things like that. And I'm asking, dang, I asked, how can this create more? And this is not fun. I'm crying. This sucks. How is this creating more? Show me, because I cannot see right now. And from there, I kept choosing another choice, another choice. And I would make the tiniest choices. I'm like, okay, what choice can I make right now? All right, I'm going to pick up the phone and I'm going to call this person. What's the next choice? Okay, after I talk to that person, can talk to this person. Next choice. Okay, after I do that, I'm going to take a bath and relax. After that choice, I'm going to put on some PJs and just lie in bed. I kept making the next choice, the next choice, the next choice. And from there, created an outcome of about 10 choices that when I got to that last one, created so much for me, for my life, for the businesses, not even just that business, all the businesses. And on paper, I think most people would say, gosh, Joanna, these questions, they don't work. I'm asking for more. I'm asking for better. I'm asking for greater. And greater did not happen. It sucked. I went home. I cried. This happened. It was not fun. The event was a disaster. And it wasn't a disaster. I was just focusing on that like 0.5% of what happened at the event. But we can see how we can judge something of we're already going into the question with judgment of what good means, of what more means. And what if actually more for your life means that your life is going to blow up, that your life is going to fall in shambles, that it's going to feel like just horrible, horrible crap for a couple days or maybe a couple months or maybe a couple years, and it's going to get better and you're going to have more. So we can see how we can already judge it. We could judge what magical means as well. That's another thing. I am in this lesson right now of calling things magical whenever it's just good and wonderful and butterflies are everywhere. And what if magic actually is when everything is falling apart? When your life is blowing up in front of your face? What if that's actually magic as well? But we're judging what magic means. We are judging what more means. We are judging what good, what better means. And what if we have no point of view of what good, magical, better, or more is? What if it just is, and you're open to a new possibility that you could never, ever, ever imagine? If you had me sit down with a pen and paper, I would have never, ever, ever come up with what happened after that event. I would have never. Like I could have sat there and wrote a million gazillion things and I would have never said this would have happened. Then I'd go home and cry. Then it'd be horrible. Then I'd make all these choices. Then my life would be much, much better. I mean, that would have probably never, ever happened for me to write it down. So when I asked the question, you ask the question, what else is possible here that I could never, ever imagine? That's when universe, God, life can show us something more magical, more better, more than we can ever, ever imagine. And sometimes it blows up in your face. Sometimes it feels awful. Not all the time. And what else is possible? And sometimes it could look like that. But if we judge through it, good thing I didn't judge the tears. I didn't judge what happened. I didn't judge that I had to go through 2 days of just hell because it was 2 days of hell until I made choice after choice after choice and brought me out of that hell and created so much. I'm kind of giving you the cliff notes of what happened, but I just don't want to talk about all the details. It's not important. What's important is I realized that I was judging what magical was. And I had a point of view. I had a strong point of view about what more meant until I saw, wow, that's actually more. And I would have never, ever, ever thought of it. So, the overall theme of today's show is how to get up out of the judgment and how to ask a question with true curiosity and not coming up with already the answer in the back of your head, because that's not really a question, right? We're stating a sentence with a question mark at the end, but it's actually like, yeah, but I would really like this. Well, of course, we would like it to feel just so easy and nothing ever happens that makes us cry and that has our life flipped, turned upside down, like Will Smith says in what's that? Mm, Fresh Prince of Bel Air, life will flip, turned upside down. Sometimes it's not going to look like that, and sometimes it will. And what else is possible for us to create a life that is more than we can ever imagine and be willing for it to blow up in your face and just know that it's going to get better. And when I say better, I mean better. I mean so freaking juicy that you could ever, 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 ever imagine. People from the outside ask me all the time, like, Joanna, oh my gosh, your life looks so great. Or, oh, this, and you've created this wonderful man, and your life looks like a movie. And I'm like, yes, it's a movie. The only part you don't see are the downfalls, are the ones where I'm like literally lying on the floor for 2 days going, what the heck here? What's going on? And knowing that it's going to get better, because I know that it's always, always, always going to get better. And when I say better, I don't just mean a little bit, I mean juicy, juicy, juicy. So next time when you ask a question, next time when you get curious, next time when you're for foreseeing something in the future, notice if you're already answering it in your head with what good is, with what magical is, and what better is. And see if you can remove your point of view, be completely curious and open, and be willing to receive what life has in store for you, because it's freaking pretty juicy. And it's also sometimes really, really sucky. All right. Thank you so much for listening here to the Get Up Girl podcast. You can follow me on Instagram. Share this episode as well on Instagram at Joanna Vargas Official. Also, all the places at Joanna Vargas Official. I love and adore every single one of you. Please remember to get back up, bring your walls and barriers down, expand out energetically, ask questions, get curious, because when you ask better questions, you can create infinite, infinite, infinite possibilities for your life. Love and appreciate you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.